Welcome to the Haunted Hangover podcast. I'm Louie, and I'm joined by a special guest. Met this guy many moons ago. I've been trying to get him on the show and forgetting, my bad, many times. But finally, I've got him here. We've got Billy Pollard. He's a musician, an author, an artist. He's just a all-around talented dude. Welcome to the show, Billy.
Thanks. My voice cracked right first thing I said. Thank you, Louie. Good to be here. Thanks for asking me on.
No, of course, man. I was joking about getting you on the show. I remember when Haunted Hangover, I was first trying to do this whole thing. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out because you're not that far from me. I was like, I'm going to go out to you. We'll do an in-person thing. And then I think COVID happened right after that. And this whole thing shifted in kind of direction. And we're getting back. Look, we're 5 years later. I'm finally getting back to you and having you on the show, which is hysterical.
6 years.
6 years. 6 years.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, you're right.
COVID was 2020. Yeah.
You're right, because this is Haunted Hangover. I've been doing this now going on almost 6 years this year. In a couple of months, it'll be 6 years, which is crazy and depressing at the same time.
I know. Everything. It's like, how was that 6 years? How was that 3 years ago? It's crazy.
Yeah, dude. I've been doing this, and it's funny, I don't do kind of one-on-one interviews that often. I usually have the guest on and we cover a main topic, but you're someone I've wanted to have on because I know your love for Halloween, which is obvious with just kind of what I do here, what you do on your end, and kind of spooky nostalgia and stuff like that. So I was like, this guy's the perfect guest to have on the show and talk some shit about all that shit. So it just took me way too long to do it, but we're here. We're finally here.
No worries.
Now, my description there at the top, musician, author, artist, is that what you would consider yourself?
I guess so. I mean, when I first, drawing was the first creative thing I ever did, because obviously any age can draw, but I've been drawing since I was 2 or 3. And I wanted music to be the main focal point of my social media presence. But after, not making it, as a musician, which was my dream, I sort of fell back onto art, and then I, did the books and all that stuff that came later. But yeah, I guess I'm a musician, artist, author. Yeah. I mean, I am. So yeah, I guess.
You are. I mean, you did it. I know you used the air quote there, not making it. I mean, you got some stuff to show here. Now, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. You've got 3 albums, right?
Yes, and I almost have a 4th. I almost have enough for a 4th. I'm recording a song now currently, but I'm very casually recording it. So once that's done, I'll master those tracks and I'll have a 4th album, which has been a decade since my 3rd. So
I was about to say, so you've got a self-titled, right? Which is The Ghost in You, which is what you go by with your music. That's kind of the...
Yeah, I just thought it was cooler sounding than Billy Pollard. You know what I mean? When you're a solo artist, I still wanted to have a band name, so I just used that as my moniker.
Yeah, because I was going to introduce you at the top as as your name plus The Ghost in You, but I was like, you know what? This guy does more than that. So you've got the self-titled, The Ghost in You, then you've got Wetwood, and then you've got Heaven Help Us, correct? Those are the 3 albums.
Yeah.
And then your last album, Heaven Help Us, was released in 2016, right?
Yeah, crazy. I can't believe it's been 10 years. Yeah.
So that's what you just said. You said it's been a decade. You're recording your 4th one now, or you're in the process of it. So it's been a decade, which is...
Since the release of Heaven Help Us, I've sporadically released singles, and now I finally have enough throughout the 10 years of sporadically releasing singles to justify a 4th album. So there's songs that you've all heard before if you follow me, October will be on it, and songs that I've posted on before, but now I finally have enough to make another album.
Listen, man, a lot of musicians do that. They have like a bunch of like EPs, and then they get an album, and then you realize the songs on the EP are on the album. You're like, wait a second,
Yeah.
that's kind of cheating, but I get it.
I didn't want to do an EP. Yeah, I didn't want to do an EP.
You
I
wanted a
wanted to
full
wait
length.
because I was in a band before the Ghost in You, and like my bandmates were always so eager to record. Like we don't even have enough for an album, so we have these two EPs, and they're like very rushed, and they're just not. I'm not like proud of them. So like I just I'm taking my time. When it's ready, it's ready.
How long have you been? Because I don't even know this, but how long have you been playing music? You said you were in a band previously before you went solo. So like, how long altogether? Just your history with recording your own music.
Well, I've started writing songs, on a tape recorder when I was like going far back as middle school, but I didn't have an actual guitar because I'm left-handed. So I used to play my older brother's guitar. He had an acoustic guitar and he's right-handed. I used to play that upside down. So I wasn't really playing properly. But it wasn't until I was 17, my dad got me my first acoustic for Christmas, left-handed acoustic. That's when I started like really focusing on writing songs of my own.
Yeah, so you were really young, dude.
So what is that? That's 27, 37. It's over like 25 years. Something.
Wow,
Yeah.
Time flies. I mean,
almost 25 years.
I mean, yeah, you've been in the game a long time just making music, which is impressive, dude. Listen, man, 3 albums, that's got to be proud of that, dude. That's
I mean, over the course of, because the first album I started recording on 4-track cassette recorder going back as far as 2007. So it's almost 20 years I've been doing the Ghost in You. I should have more music, but I'm not always motivated to write. Like I suffer from depression, and there's a lot of that is linked to, I'll pour my heart and soul into like a song or a piece of art, and I'll put it on social media or get it out into the world, and like 7 people will like it or hear it, and it sort of is, it's deflating, and it's like I almost feel like what's the point a lot. So I only do art when like I feel motivated to do it. I don't push myself really to do it anymore.
Well, yeah, I feel, this is just my opinion, I feel like when it comes to anything, whether it's music, acting, filmmaking, podcast, YouTube, whatever, you should be doing it for yourself first. And when you feel like you're ready, and then people are either going to like your shit or not. There's no like, there's no like real space in between,
There is part of me that wants to be that, like, I'm doing this for me. But if I'm going to be honest, as a creative type, like with art, music, and even books now and stuff, like, I think artists are inherently like attention whores. And I guess as much as I hate people, I just want like people to like me and to like what I'm doing. Like, in junior high, I was voted like class clown, best sense of humor. And in my high school yearbook as well. Like I've always just wanted attention. So I do it for me, but I mostly do it because I just want people to appreciate me. So when they don't, or it doesn't, like, yeah, I'll have somebody in like Australia leave me a random comment one day saying like, I've been listening to you for years and you mean so much to me. I'm like, yeah, I feel so good. But as a whole, like when I release stuff or put something out there, it's like barely anybody really even takes notice of it or sees it. So it's depressing,
I mean, it's an interesting, this is probably the first kind of conversation I'm having like this on the show. So it's interesting to just kind of hear someone who's been doing this for so long, music, books, drawings, art, and stuff like that, and feels that way about their, like, okay, 5 people like this song or whatever, but then you get that one person that leaves you a comment, and it can go for anything. It can even go for this. Like, I've had people like, oh, hey, this is not the biggest show in the world, but like one person's like, hey, I love your show. That's really all it takes. There's one person or 2 people or 5 people that you made an impact. And it's like a lot of us tend to dwell on the negative, like dwell on like the what's not happening.
Me. I mean,
yeah, I get it, man.
I mean, you're preaching like I am such like a negative, like pessimist. Like, I mean, like, and see, I'll go to that point where like that guy in Australia who's saying like I'm his favorite artist, which is like, whoa, like how can I be somebody's favorite artist? Like that's a huge compliment. But I take it to the point where I'm like, how come if this guy loves me so much, how come other people don't? How come I haven't made it? How come I'm not on the radio? How come like, and I'm not trying to be famous, but like I always, my dream was to be a professional artist or creator in some form, whether it's music or art. And I'm just talking about like making enough to pay the rent. Like
Yeah.
that to me would be fame. That to me would be success. And that has never happened. And you know, it will never happen. Like
That's the American dream right there, man. I mean,
yeah.
I get it. Like everyone's some people are pessimistic. Some people are super positive. Everyone's got a different outlook, but just a guy who's, I followed your stuff throughout the years, and we'll get into kind of how we'll transition to how we kind of met each other. You're a talented dude, man. You're a talented dude. Like
Thanks,
you got music out there, and we're going to continue talking about it in this episode. It'll come up, I'm sure, a couple times when we continue on with different topics, but your music, your art, your books, like you're doing it, man. And it could just, it sometimes feel like you hit a brick wall every time you do something, but someone's going to appreciate it regardless of how you feel. You might think you're like, no one likes my stuff. But at the end of the day, you're like, damn, there are people that really like it. Nah, listen, man, it goes with the territory. Listen, as a filmmaker, there's a lot of people that hated the stuff I've written and directed, and it is what it is. It's you're either going to like it or you're not. Same with this show. You're either going to like it or you're not, I may get an email after this episode telling me how much I sucked interviewing you. So you just never know, which has happened.
Don't get me started on trolls.
I love trolls.
Do not.
I love trolls. Not. I think trolling is a good trajectory to know that your opinion or what you've done, created really affected somebody. Whether it's music,
that's true,
film, art, podcast, YouTube, content of any kind, whatever it is, it made an impact. Like, listen, dude, you sat, watched, listened, or checked out what I had to do. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Yeah, trolls are kind of interesting. Just from someone that doesn't troll, has super confident and thick skin like myself, is just, I find it kind of hilarious.
It's hilarious, but it's more so disturbing because some of these people that like, I get some really, really weird ones. And it's like, I always think back to I don't know if you ever saw Private Parts, the Howard Stern movie.
Of course. Yeah.
But I always think of it, that quote or that line in the movie where the guy's reading like the ratings. He's like, the average Stern listener listens for 2.5 hours. The average Stern hater listens for 4.5 hours. Why? They want to see what he'll say next. Like there are these trolls who they say they hate you, but they know everything about you. They're like obsessed over you. So it's like, it's weird. Like, I don't know. I just can't understand being so obsessed with someone just to be negative towards them. Like,
my question is like towards you, like what you're bringing to the table, what you're putting yourself out there in your music and your art. And I promise you, listeners, we're going to continue on from this topic. But like, there's nothing about, at least from what I've seen about you, that's offensive. You're not telling people like you're dumb. You're writing like songs. Like, there's nothing like like your song sucks. Like, what kind of troll? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of trolling?
Well,
you got to really be like a basement.
I do
dweller,
get that a lot,
But
I am very opinionated. Like my girlfriend's always telling me, like, just because you don't like that doesn't mean that everybody else, like, because we'll be in a store and I'll be like how can you hang this up in your house like this, like the live, laugh, love type art, and like everything just sets me off, and I'm just like, people are idiots. Like, so I am very opinionated, but I do try to rein it in because I could be a lot worse. But I'm not just going around to people randomly and being like bullying them and being mean. So it's like, it's weird when it just comes at you for no reason. But anyway.
But you mentioned Ghost. You've written 3 children's books, correct?
Yes.
and they're all about Bone Boy and Ghost Girl, right? If I'm in the ballpark,
Yeah.
right? So
Well,
these are.
if you want to get into, go ahead. You're the interviewer. You go
I
ahead.
said so. So basically, you've got these two characters, and it's like the Bone Boy, Ghost Girl on adventures. That's sort of the gimmick, right, for these characters. I'll let you explain it. You could probably do a better job at articulating your
All
own
right.
characters.
Well, I told this story before, but I my dad was moving to Chincoteague, Virginia, Chincoteague Island. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. A lot of people haven't, but he was like, "Yeah, we're moving. You got to get your stuff out of storage," because I had stuff at their place, and he gave me like a box, and in it there was like some like just an envelope from a piece of mail, and I sketched this character, and I wrote Ghost Girl, and I guess I thought it was cool enough that I put it in the box to save for later. And then I drew this character Bone Boy. And when I got the box and looked at these, I was like, these are cool characters. So I sat down and like really drew them out as opposed to just a little rough sketch on a piece of mail. And I drew them together, and I took my time on it, and I posted it on Instagram. And I said, I always thought these two characters are ripe for a children's book. I wish I knew how to do this or go about it. And Bloody Disgusting actually contacted me. And they were like, "Hey, let's talk," So they DM'd me, and they said they wanted to get into print publication because Bloody Disgusting, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. They're like, "We want to get into print publication, but because they only do online and digital, and we think this would be great for our first print publication." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is like my dream," So I was super excited, and they said, "Go, let's do it." So I wrote the story, storyboarded out each page, and started working on it. And I kept them in the loop. Like every few pages, I would email them, and then when it was almost done, like after 6 months, maybe not that long, but close to it, they had some disagreement with one of the lines in the book. They thought me mentioning the word death or dead might be do you think that might be too dark for kids? And I was like, I don't think so. I think you're underestimating children. I mean, when we were kids, we read scary stories to tell in the dark and all sorts of weird stuff. I was like, you're underestimating kids, and anyway, we had this kind of back and forth, and they just pulled the plug at the very end. I was not willing to change it, not only because I thought they were wrong, but also the book rhymes. So I would have had to change the whole lines in the story. So yeah, they just said, we're going to politely part ways. And I was gutted. I was devastated. I cried. I was so upset because I thought this was my big break, to become known. And I wasn't even going to release the book. I was devastated. I didn't know how to. All I knew how to do was write the story and draw the characters. All the technical stuff over my head. So I didn't know what to do. And then I was on Kindle Publishing's forum, and I just wrote, "Does anyone know what I have to do?" And this complete stranger woman, who I guess is an editor or something, she helped me. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And she didn't even charge me. She told me what I had to do, because thank God I graduated from pen and paper to digital. This was one of my first digital pieces of art that I was working on. And thank God I did, because I did the text or the titles on a different layer. And she was like, if you don't move this text, this is going to get cut off. This is going to get cropped off. So I was able to I didn't have to redo everything. I could move the text in the page to fit. And she, God bless her, without her, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So it got out there. I did self-publication. But after that fiasco, I was like, I'm never doing this again. My heart was broken. But then COVID hit. I got bored, and I wrote Bone Boy and Ghost Girl Meet Dead Dog. And I didn't really think about making another book, but then I was like, I always wanted to make a Christmas book. So I thought a beginning, a middle, and an end I thought that would be the end of Bone Boy Ghost Girl, that I would do a Christmas book. So I guess 2 years ago, I did the Christmas book, a Bone Boy and Ghost Girl Christmas. My voice is cracking, very dry.
Take a swig of your drink there with the cracking voice. So that's crazy. So two things. So Bone Boy Ghost Girl were just created on a whim. You just drew them, and that was the inspiration basically for them. That's crazy. How you've gone on to basically create these characters and tell these stories a couple times, 3 books on just 2 little characters you just doodled down. That's cool. As far as Bloody Disgusting goes, damn, they're soft over there. What happened? There's you guys
I don't know.
Your website is called Bloody Disgusting, but you can't have a book that says death in it. When there's an entire series of Goosebump that we, like you mentioned, scary stories to tell in the dark. Like our generation read Goosebumps books, and death and blood was mentioned in those books, and that's bizarre. They're soft over there, man. I did not know this. So
I do think it is them being soft too, because I worked with kids at the time. I was like an aide for like the before and after care program, and the kids saw me because I did like 90% of the book on the clock when I was, at that program with the kids, because when they'd be drawing or playing games, I would just take out my tablet and work on the book, and they couldn't wait to see it finished. And I thought I had some sort of like, a window into kids because like I worked with them. So I shot like a little video of me reading the book. And then at the end I was like, what did you guys think? And they're like, yeah, we loved it. Yeah, blah, blah. I was like, was it too scary? No. So I emailed them that clip. It was a private video. It wasn't like I posted on, cause you can't film kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that was another reason they pulled the plug too. They were like, we find this very disturbing. Like I was just like, oh my God, you're trying to find something wrong. You're trying to find something wrong with something that is not wrong. And I think that's like a lot of the problem today, trying to find something wrong when there is nothing wrong.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know anyone on that site personally. I know it's a very popular horror site. I don't know anyone over there, so I don't really care. But I'll say this: that's a soft move. It
is. The strange thing about it is after I self-published it, because they follow me on Instagram. I have no hard feelings. I was devastated. They shared like my post about like the book is done. I made like they put it in their stories, so they couldn't have been too against what I did or what I said. So I don't know. It's politics. I don't know.
Damn, dude, the word death on a horror platform offended somebody.
Yeah, and it's like it's such a wholesome book. Like, I mean, it's like a little kiddie book,
Crazy.
Yeah. It's gothic theme. Like, I mean, it's like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, Tim Burton. I was about to say. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. What a crazy story. The horror community is bizarre. And I mean, listen, respectfully, bizarre. The powers that be. That's a weird thing to request of an author. Like that's writing a children's book that's spooky, like Nightmare Before Christmas, which people consider like, people go gaga for that movie, right? To this day, people like love it. It's everywhere. It's fucking, it's all over the place.
Don't get me into that oversaturation of that movie.
Everything is oversaturated. We joke on the show all the time. Everything is oversaturated. You walk into a Spirit Halloween, everything's oversaturated. But like you think about it, Sally and Jack are 2 corpses basically, and that's fine. But the word death, which everyone in life, in real life, not in a fictional sense, in film, movie, TVs, music. Death is just a part of, they can't even, the word is in the dictionary, but they can't have it in a children's book. Wild stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I sent them the story. So it's like, why did you decide at the very end when the book is 99% complete to then object to something? Like,
yeah. Couple jabronis working over there, man. What's going on with the people running whatever they got going on over there? Damn. You guys.
But I will say this. Yeah. I will say this in their like I don't want to say defense. And
Yeah.
I'm grateful to them for agreeing, even though they pulled the plug, because without them saying, let's do this, I don't think I would have done it.
Yeah.
So I do give them that. So yeah.
I mean, dude,
Thanks, Bloody Disgusting.
Shout out to Bloody Disgusting for denying my dude here and giving him the willpower and the strength to write 3 books, let alone 1.
I mean, they gave me the motivation because once they said we're going to back this, I felt good. I was all like, yes, let's do this. So,
I mean, dude, you did it.
A positive thing did happen.
You got 3 books. Like, you made 3. You got 3 books. So without their help, so it works out. The only help they gave you was telling you they're basically takey backsy situation from them, whatever the term is, you know.
Their lie helped me to make
it inspired you. Not to shift gears here. So you and I think I first reached out to you in 2016. I was shooting one of my films, Good Day. And I remember Jason, True Horror, who's been on the show many times, a mutual friend of ours. We were talking about this before we started recording, but he had he did it for a couple years, an annual sort of mixtape, and he had your song 1031 on it. And you kind of refreshed my memory because I was trying to figure out how like me talking to you even started 100 years ago. And it's funny because now that you were kind of telling me that off air, I was like, yeah, you're right. That makes sense because I knew Jason, I knew what he was doing, and then finding your song and it kind of opened up a memory in my mind. I think I hit you up about using that song, which I know is your most popular song, and the music video and all that stuff that goes with it. And we'll talk about that in a second. And I think you told me that it was in another independent film. And I was like, I don't want to... What was the movie? I don't even know.
It was called Honey Spider, and like no one really saw it. It was a very, very low budget horror film. It was produced and written by the kid Kenny, or he's not a kid, he's older than me. The guy Kenny who has the Myers house in North Carolina.
I think Jason's actually done art for that Myers house too. Before, I think he's like actually made like a poster for them before. I don't know these people either. Cool. So I think so. That's kind of funny how you both have that in common.
Directed by Josh Hasty, who did another indie horror film more recently. It was called Candy Corn. It had like Tony Todd in it and PJ Souls and some bigger names. So, but nobody really saw Honey Spider. I had to pay for my copy on DVD just because I was so excited. I understand. I get it.
I mean, low budget indie film. It's tough, man. Just like music, it's hard to get your movie out there. I know. I mean, I'm still in the game. I'm still in the trenches of the indie film world still to this day. But I remember asking you for that song. It was already taken. And then you ended up saying, hey, dude, I have 2 other songs. And I've had several screenings at festivals. The movie exists. It's not a great movie. I'm proud of it, but it's not amazing. But everyone always would even compliment, like, hey, that's like the scenes you use them in, hearing the songs in the trailer. Everyone's like, hey, it's a great song. And I just remember wanting something that's a vibe, has sort of autumn feels to it because the film takes place on Halloween. And I just remember like you mentioning that, I was like, that does make sense. It all kind of came back to me for a second there. I was like, yeah, that is what happened. Because I remember talking to you and then you mentioning that song was, because I just was like, all right, if someone else is using this song, I'm not even, because I didn't know the movie or the filmmakers. I was like, I'm not going to kill. I mean,
you could have still used it, but
oh no, of course. It's like, how many movies use the same popular songs and stuff. This would be on our level, a more independent level, but nonetheless, listen, dude, I'm still making other movies, so it's to this day. So might happen again in the future.
Awesome.
But that song, 1031, I'm sure you're tired of talking about it because it is a popular song, and
No.
and it's a popular. I know your video. I've watched it. You have someone. Is it you in the costume, or who's wearing the costume in that video? The skeleton.
It's
deal.
it's one of my oldest friends, childhood friend, my oldest friend Brett. He grew up like down the road from me, and we were very close friends growing up. The kind, you just hang out at convenience stores out front drinking Slurpees and just hanging out and being kids. Which is what I'm glad that I asked him to do it, because I asked my girlfriend at the time and she didn't want to do it. And I'm glad I asked him, because it makes the video that much more like special, because it's like sort of like a timeless like love letter to Halloween and nostalgia and childhood, fall and all that stuff. So even though you can't see his face in there, I know it's my friend Brett, and it's cool that he's in there.
Yeah, it's a fun video. Him, like, you guys are in a cemetery, right? Running around, and him running around. Right?
It's just him. It's just him. I'm just the cameraman, but
yeah.
It's just images of fall and Halloween decorations spliced with footage of like this Grim Reaper trick-or-treater walking around the cemetery and stuff. So.
How many Halloween playlists have people, like, has that song been featured in? Do you even know? Have you been able to check?
No, I don't. I don't know how to check that, but I know that, I don't know if you know Spooky Little Halloween.
No.
Miranda.
Okay. No, I don't know who that is.
She's put it in her magazine. She has like an actual print magazine, like, and she put a playlist on there. It's on her Spotify, but yeah, people really seem to relate to it, and I'm shocked by it, by the reaction to it, because I wrote, going back to do things for you, make things for you. I wrote that song for me and my mom, because she was big on Halloween. She's the one who kind of probably got me into it as much as I am. So I did that, for myself. And like, I didn't think that, even though I wrote it with like this like nostalgic feeling or vibe to it, I didn't know that other people were going to feel that too. So that was pretty cool to hear that.
I mean, here we do like an annual Halloween mixtape ourselves. Every year we've done it for the past 5 Halloweens. And you always want music, and your song specifically and your video kind of go hand in hand for obvious reasons. Like, you want music that reminds you of the holiday, of the season, not just Halloween, but the autumn. So I feel like what happens with your song, with that song specifically, and your music in general, because I know you have a song called October, and even the songs featured in my movie, like, there's just a certain vibe, because you love Halloween, and we're going to get into Halloween in a second. Because you love the holiday, you can just feel that. When it's authentic, you can't make that shit up. You know what I mean? Like, there's just an authenticity.
Yeah.
Like you said, you wrote that song for you. Kind of the original point of our conversation earlier in the show. Like, you did it for yourself, and it resonates with people. People just like it for that reason. There's an authenticity behind it. And just, you mentioned your mom and Halloween and nostalgia. And I know that's an important thing to you, like everybody who listens to the show, I'm sure, or listens to your music. Now, the song Halloween, why is it an influence? Why do you love it? Why do you gravitate towards it?
I mean, I guess nothing I say would be too unique, but it's just like, just the memory. Like, I don't know, like, there was something magical about even just like an autumn night when you were a kid. Like, you smell the leaves. Like, I don't like football and anything, but I could, like, hearing the marching band from the high school, like, in the distance. Just, there was this like sort of veil of like spookiness, but magic. And it just reminds me of that time as a kid. The specials on TV, and, and we're going back to where, when we were kids, it was like apple cider, candy corn, candy apples, orange filled Oreos. It was like, that was like Halloween food. Now it's like, oh my God, like pumpkin spice out the ass. Like, it's like, you can't get away from Halloween from like
Yeah.
limited edition Halloween flavors. But back then, like that, like it, like I guess it, like the scarcity, is that the right word I'm using? Like made things more special back then. Now it's like and that's like with social media, like it's just there's too much like all the like Netflix and Hulu. Like I dreamt about that as a kid, like having this like movies at your fingertips. But now it's like I want to go back because it's like since there's too much, it's less important than it was. And I don't know, just all those memories. And like my mom would dress up as a witch when we were kids because her birthday was October 30th.
My
So we
mom's
used to do
birthday
like
is the
a
same day.
celebration.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, my
Whoa,
mom's
that's
birthday
so
is
weird.
October 30th. Yep. So,
That's crazy. How is your mom still
yeah,
alive?
she's still
Or
around. I won't say her age because I don't think she'll appreciate that, but she
okay.
listens
Well,
sometimes. Yeah.
my mom passed away like just before I had finished the song 1031.
Mm,
So she was 60, I think, when she
okay.
passed. But
That's very
yeah, so
young,
yeah, we
man.
used to do
Very
it.
young.
That yeah, yeah. But yeah, so we used to do like a birthday slash Halloween thing. You'd go over to my aunt's or my grandma's, and like they'd have candy for us and then cake. And um yeah, so I guess that's why my mom liked it so much, because it was around her birthday maybe. But it sort of just was an influence on why I liked it too. So
It's a personal, and I've said this on the show before when discussing Halloween with guests and stuff, and you probably are a prime example of that, where the commercialization of Halloween, walk into Spirit, 500 Art the Clown heads and mannequins, like that's not Halloween. That's whatever that is. But like you're a prime example in the sense of it's a very personal thing. And I always say that Halloween, and the reason why people that love Halloween, it's more of a personal thing. Yeah, you've got the people that like they have to wear like a cobweb shirt and like it's like that's like their thing like all year, like, that the Halloween people. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but like I still say like you don't have to be you can be a Halloween person without being kind of a stereotypical Halloween person, because it's a more personal
yeah.
a personal thing. Music, movies, whatever. You can listen to certain records that might not mention monsters or a ghost or a jack-o'-lantern, but they still remind you of the season, of the Halloween season. And your song and your reason of why you love the holiday, I think you're just a prime example of that. Again, you said you wrote your song for your mother around the time, your mother passed away, and her loving Halloween. She obviously influenced you greatly and why you love the holiday. So you're a prime example of that, man. Authentic. That
Yeah,
shit
and
don't exist.
She was thanks, man.
Rare breed.
And she was, very artistic. So I got and she trash picked, because I don't know if you're going to get into all this, but I dumpster dive, I trash pick. So I got that like very like quirky. I don't care what other people think about me personality. I got her severe depression. She had very severe depression. So I do get a lot from her. Yeah, she's there. She's there all the time, whether
good,
I
man.
like it or not.
Yeah, I mean, listen, dude, it seems like that's like, that's a very obvious and special person in your life, and someone that inspires you to do all this stuff. And that's a good thing, dude. Is there a favorite Halloween memory you have? Like one that sticks out to you that's like a core memory that you're willing to share here on the show?
I don't think, see, and that's the thing, like, oh, you love Halloween so much. Like, so what do you do on the actual day? Like, I don't know if you're going to get into this, but I'm almost 42 and I still trick or treat. But Halloween was never just about Halloween day or night. Halloween was about the entire season, the feeling of the whole season. That's how I celebrate. Even if I'm not specifically doing something Halloween related. Yeah, as far as memories go, I mean, obviously the go-to trick-or-treating with your friends. I mean, that was just, I wish I could get that feeling back, which is partially why I still go trick-or-treating now, because I always say it's the closest, going trick-or-treating as an adult is the closest to getting that Santa magic as an adult can get. Like, that magic of believing in Santa Claus, like once you grow up and realize that magic doesn't exist, like you never get that back. And going trick or treating at night, seeing like people going door to door, and like it feels like taking a time machine, even though you're aware you're an adult now and stuff, and life is scary and hard. It's you still feel that like that magic of being a kid around Halloween. So, I mean, I'm 41, I'm almost 42. I've never had a drink in my life. This haunted hangover is the first hangover I've ever had because I've never had a drug or drink, a cigarette. So going trick or treating like is like I allow myself to do that, even though people look at me weird. But it's like, I've never been drunk or blacked out or embarrassed myself at a bar. So just let me have this. Like, let me just have my Halloween and be a kid for a night.
The funny thing about trick-or-treating as an adult, so the last 10 years have been able, I don't have kids, but I've been able to go trick-or-treating as an adult because I have nieces and a nephew through my wife.
Mm-hmm.
So for the last decade, we're able to get dressed up. We do it every year. It's been our tradition. They're getting older now, which is kind of sad because they're not as excited as they were when they were like 6. Now they're like 12, 11. They're getting older. So it's great that we, luckily for now, can use them as an excuse to wear costumes and go up to the doors with them and get candy. So that's been kind of like the one really cool thing about being like an uncle is being able to trick or treat with them. And it feels like a kid. A few years ago, I mentioned, I think on a post-Halloween show, there was a time where, and this might be a feeling, you might know what I'm talking about, where you're out trick or treating. We were out in Long Island, out here in New York. And it was like 9:00. Streets are quiet. There's like 4 or 5 trick-or-treaters scurrying about in the distance. It's dark, creepy. You hear a couple decorations, and I just see like, my family members still knocking on doors, trying to see if someone will answer or not. And I'm like, for me, that moment, that's Halloween. Like that's kind of the feeling we're looking for. And it sounds like you trick-or-treating as an adult by yourself now. I'm assuming by yourself. Does your girlfriend go with you?
Yeah. My ex-girlfriend used to go with me, and then my current girlfriend, she would go if I asked her to go, but I know she wouldn't have any fun, and she'd be going just for me. So I told her, I was like, listen, don't take this personally, but I'll go at my own pace, and I don't want you to get hot, or because you got to wear a mask. Like, as unapologetic as I am about myself, I still wear a mask, and I kind of my posture is a little lower because I don't want to scare people. I'm a grown man. So, so I always wear I have skeleton gloves. So I make sure to cover myself where I'm even at the door. I'm like, trick or treat, my voice gets a little higher. Again, I don't want to freak people out. And in this day and age, going back to the whole bloody disgusting stuff, I don't want people to think, because people don't know me. I know that I'm doing this out of a completely wholesome, innocent way. But if you see a guy with a beard going door to door trick or treating, you probably are going to judge them or think that something is creepy about that, where I know it's not. So yeah, I go alone. That way I can just get to the houses I want and not worry about someone, tagging behind or falling behind. But yeah, I go alone. I find that's the easiest way to do it.
It's got to be therapeutic too, relaxing, calming. Maybe not. I don't know. You tell me.
Part of it is also I'm such a tradition, like my own traditions. Like I feel like if I don't do something that has been a tradition in my life, it hurts, or it's like if I don't go trick or treating, I'll feel like Halloween just went by and I did nothing. So there have been a couple years here and there where I didn't go, either because of depression or it rained or something like that. And it feels very sad. So I pushed myself to go last year, even though halfway through I was just like, I'm really just doing this just to say I did it. But I'm always glad that I did. And I come home, I sort my candy out how I did when I was a kid, all the Reese's, all the Snickers, line it up, take a nice photo. I put a horror movie on in the background, and then I'll order a pineapple pizza and watch like Ernest Scared Stupid or something.
I mean, that sounds like
It's my own,
sounds like
my
a
own little
solid night.
tradition.
Sounds like a good
It's
night to
not
me.
bad. It's not
Yeah.
bad.
Are there any other traditions you have, like for the Halloween season, outside of trick or treating and doing all that?
Well, you used to, always want to go to do the haunted houses
Yeah, I
or
was
the
about to ask. Do you
mazes and
do
all
that
that stuff.
stuff?
But
Yeah.
getting older, like I don't do anything. Like I don't go out. Like I don't stay out late. So like, in theory, I'm like, yeah, we got to do this. And I think it was not last year, but the year before last, my girl, maybe it was last year. Time flies so much. But we went and like paid for like the 3 tickets, like, cause there was 3 attractions, like the haunted house, hayride, and then something else. And we waited in line for that hayride and we're freezing. And like, after the hayride, they're like, we just looked at each other like, yeah, we're not staying for the other 2 attractions. So
Okay.
we just
All
went
right.
home. So yeah, I just, to me, I would rather just like walk through a cemetery with my girlfriend or something,
Okay.
because I have a Vespa, I have a scooter, we'll ride to Lambertville where they do Halloween up, right? Like I like free attraction things where you don't got to wait in a line and be around other people. So,
Gotcha.
um,
That goes to show you like how Halloween again goes back to the point of it's like a personal thing. Like you don't want to be around the people in line. You just kind of want to do like go to like I'm assuming maybe like have a picnic. Like you said, you go to the cemetery with your girlfriend, stuff like that. Like just hang out, eat a sandwich in the cemetery and hang out and talk. I mean, that's a solid day too. But there is, just to defend haunted attractions. For me, there is
listen, I love them. I love them.
there is a small part of me that loves the anticipation of being with your people, fucking the 100 other people in line, whatever. But there is an anticipation. There's something about me that's nostalgic to me about being in line with your people and waiting to enter a haunted attraction. Like just, I love it. Like I personally I get it. Like waiting in line sucks and it's cold or it rains or there's drizzle, but there's just something about waiting and not knowing, especially when you've never been with a haunted attraction during the Halloween season. But I see both sides of it, man. I see both sides. I totally get it.
If it was a matter, and I get that in theory, but I guess if I had to choose, I would have like a speed pass where I didn't have to wait at all. But
they have those, but you got to pay a lot of money.
I also, oh my God. Yeah. I also just I like stuff that's like charmingly bad too. Like I miss just like going to like a local pumpkin patch. And like when I was a kid, there was this one where it was just like, it wasn't even a maze. It was just like these like wooden pillars with black garbage, like vinyl around encasing it. And like as a kid, like you just walked through, it was probably only like go straight, turn left, and then go back outside. But I was like, oh my God, there was like a Dracula head with like a light on, and that was all it was. Like there was something about that like Roseanne style, like haunted house,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like I love that stuff. And like, so I like the family friendly, kind of stuff too. Cause as a kid, one of my neighbors, he used to go all out. He had like this thing, like this haunted maze in just his driveway where you go in, and then he had people moving the walls around, like to get you like confused of where you were. And like it was such a cool thing. I wish he still did it. It's probably dead. I don't know, but
oh my God. All right.
That was all.
that got bleak there for a second.
Well, I'm just saying when you're a kid and somebody's 50.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. It's funny you mentioned like the homemade aspect of it. And I agree with you. You go now to someone's house or a pumpkin farm, and I still go every year myself, and I'm sure you do too. You get the blow up balloon things. You get like the animatronics now, which are super popular. And I remember going to in Jersey, my father used to take me when I was a kid. And I agree. You just kind of, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the show. I might have, but my dad used to take me to this one pumpkin patch. It was just a pumpkin patch, rows of pumpkins. And what they would do is they would have like almost homemade mannequins of characters. So like there'd be like a Freddy, it's almost like a scarecrow almost. There'd be like a Freddy one, there'd be a Jason one, a Michael Myers one, a random gorilla or something. And I agree with you. Like the homemade quality of it, there's just something more charming about it. And you don't see that anymore because all these stores now are selling like the elaborate
mass production.
Yeah, the most elaborate monster animatronic giant skeleton whatever. So a good old, there's actually a house by me. I've posted up pictures on the Haunted Hangover page before. They go all out. I drive by it every year. I mean, I go out of my way, my wife and I, and then we'll take like a nighttime drive in the neighborhood. We'll go over there, and what they do is they put rubber Halloween mask on sticks. They put like, cloaks on them and stuff. And it kind of reminds me of the 90s and the 80s, that old fashioned sort of Halloween decoration that no longer exists. Like it's just not a thing anymore. People don't put in that effort. It's like they go to the basement or they go to the attic, go to the closet, pull out the animatronic, open up the box, plug it in, happy Halloween, and keep it moving. So anytime you see anyone go that extra step to create their own creature, their own lighting effects, their own whatever, pumpkin carvings where they have 50 pumpkins laid out in front of their house. It's just that there's something special about that. That's Halloween to me, not the lazy 12-foot skeleton.
And don't get me started on like the mass produced, like, animatronics are cool and everything, but like I would rather see somebody's crappy homemade yard haunt than some like $500 like 12-foot skeleton. And do not get me started on lawn inflatables. I think they are the most hideous, tackiest, worst. And I can't say Halloween decorations because it's for everything. It's for Valentine's Day. It's for Christmas. It's for football, like sports stuff. Like I hate, my girlfriend that gets tired of me like cursing at them. Like I hate them. And then when they're not in use, they look even worse because they just look like a melted cartoon character in the yard. Like I hate them. I think they're the worst thing to come to lawn decorations ever. I hate them.
I was actually about to ask you one gripe you have with Halloween now. It sounds like you answered my question.
Well, it's that, and it's also I'm like one of these people that like I'm almost 42 and I still use the word poser, but I don't know, when I like 10, 15 years ago, like when you tell somebody that Halloween was like your favorite holiday, they'd look at you kind of weird and they'd think you were kind of like immature or stupid or whatever. Like Halloween's now it's like, I don't know if it's because of I guess it's probably because of social media and like the mom type, like social media people who like, now it's like pumpkin spice and cozy and sweater. Now like Halloween has become like socially acceptable for adults to like really like, but it's not my Halloween that they're into either. It's the kind of Halloween that we're talking about that I like. But I think they almost like social media kind of like soured a lot of things for me. And going back to Nightmare Before Christmas, I was obsessed with that movie when it came out. I saw it numerous times in the theater. I don't want to say it changed me, but it might have, like back in the day, and influenced me greatly. And people did not even really like that movie when it came out. It was not a hit. Disney didn't want to brand it with their name. It was under their Touchstone Pictures umbrella because they didn't believe in it enough. But then now, since it became popular, now they jump at the gun to put their name on it. But the resurgence of that movie started because Hot Topic started selling stuff.
Yeah.
In like early 2000s. Now it's like I'm a closeted Nightmare Before Christmas fan. You'll never see me like really write about it, or I wouldn't have a decal in my car because like the most basic, stupid people. Like it's everywhere. Like,
Oh
and
man.
it sours it for me. It really
Yeah.
does. I hate when something that I liked or loved that was so special to me becomes hugely popularized, especially when it's something that when I've tried to show or talk to people about, they've rolled their eyes at, and now those same people are obsessed with it. So it's like now I look like a hipster because for my entire life I've been wearing scarves. Not like you wouldn't think twice about a scarf being like, you know, stupid, but like when I was a kid wearing a scarf and like the floppy winter hats, modeling my sense of fashion after John Candy and Walter Matthau and grumpy old men. Like you're dressing like an old man. Now that's like chic, thrift stores. I was called dirty and poor for going to thrift stores. Everything, it always sours me when something I loved that was special to me is now a worldwide thing. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but it just does. And Halloween has become that, sadly.
I mean, I get it. Everything is mainstream now. There's a niche for everything. If and I think social media and in general that's kind of popularized certain things. I mean, there's people into anime, there's people into Halloween, there's people into horror, there's people into all this stuff. And at one point, I think when you and me were teenagers and even younger, we just felt like the only people that were into that. Now we can see millions of people that are into that. And I think that's what's kind of soured, at least that's what it sounds like to me, hearing you. That's what's kind of soured you on these things, these specific things. But it still sounds like you're a fan of this stuff and you're not going to change. You're going to keep your interest, Halloween music, etc. You're going to keep that old horror nostalgia. And I'm sure you've got lots to say about the nostalgia community, which is everywhere too now.
So, yeah, I do.
Yes.
And now they're making it harder for me to find CRT TVs because now the TikTok generation, like they're all pretending that like, oh, my kids now, we're a tablet free home and we're watching VHS tapes. So they've made like CRT TVs, which you couldn't even give them away. Yeah. Now it's like $400 retro gaming console. Like it's like, what the fuck, like, dude. But yeah, I just think people in general are sheep, and that's a big problem I have in general with people. So
I respect it, man. I respect.
I like opinion. What I like. Yeah. I mean. I just don't. I can't understand liking something just because other people like it. Yeah, I like stuff because I like it.
I mean, trust me. I grew up as a kid into death metal and hardcore music and punk music, and I loved horror movies and Halloween since I was 12. And I remember at one point, I think I was the only person at my high school into that stuff. And, maybe one or two other people I was cool with, but, I guess just the world changes, everything shifts, and everything you can find everything with your phone now and the internet and social media. So nothing's niche really anymore.
But it wasn't like when you said like, no, when you said, maybe a couple people in your school liked it or whatever, like I miss like when like, only a certain type of person liked that thing because it was like then you knew those were your people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and even like I was just talking to my girlfriend about this. Like, even seeing somebody with a tattoo back in the day, like you knew like that person, like they're my people. They might not like the same stuff I like, but they're different. They have dyed hair. They're different. Now it's like grandmas have like rainbow hairs and tattoos, and so stuff has gotten very mainstream. You can't tell who's who anymore.
You just gotta
can't tell your people anymore.
This is my only, and we'll wind down here. All I could say is this: you gotta stay. Sometimes it's good to stay in your bubble because you just know what you like, you know what you enjoy. It's like eating a food. If you love pizza, there's a lot of crappy pizza out there, but if you know where to go to get the best pizza, you're going to just keep going there because that's what you like. And that's it has the flavor profile you enjoy. The cheese is good. The sauce is good. If it becomes a popular place that everyone's going to because they found out about it, you can still enjoy it. Like, because at the end of the day, it's your own world, your own bubble. Doesn't matter. That's me trying to be positive. That's me trying to end the show on a positive note there. It's true. Like, that's kind of my analogy. It's like, yeah, you knew about this secret pizza spot. Now every foodie on Instagram is going there because they found out about it. And you're like, I've been coming here for 15 years. At the end of the day, you can still enjoy it. You can maybe not enjoy what it's become, but at the end of the day, you still like it. And like when you're in your home or you're out with your girlfriend or with family, doesn't matter. It still brings you joy. Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween.
Yeah, no,
horror.
I mean, it's a valid point.
You know?
But it's like, but like I miss it. It also, the mainstream makes me miss a lot more. Like, talking about Spirit Halloween, like, do you remember when you were a kid going into a Halloween store? I always say this. I've probably said it 1,000 times in other interviews or whatever, but like going into a Halloween store when you were a kid, it was like a free haunted house.
Yeah.
Every time you went, it was dark. There were fog machines. There was either spooky music playing or spooky sounds playing over the speakers. Now you go into Spirit Halloween, it's brightly lit. It's like a Five Below with Halloween stuff in it. There's pop music playing, like Bruno Mars or Justin Timberlake. Like I didn't even go into one last year because I knew going into Spirit Halloween, I was just going to get angry. There wasn't anything I needed. So I was just going to get angry because I miss when Halloween felt like Halloween. And that it's, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but don't you think Spirit Halloween would like be like, we really need to make it you feel like you're in a Halloween store as opposed to a Kmart or a Five Below with Halloween stuff in it.
I'll say this. I've done segments for other shows where they've asked me, like other Halloween or, adjacent shows, to like, what's one thing about Halloween you don't like, or one thing you think is kind of falling off? And I've mentioned it, and it's come up on the show before. Spirit Halloween in general, to me, is not as much fun anymore. I recently, we just did, and this is a good way to transition because we're going to be talking about the Patreon show you'll be joining me on over there in a few minutes. But at one point, you go into a Spirit Halloween, there was just, and this is like 15, 20 years ago, I'm thinking, there were monsters, no animatronics, costumes, decorations, stuff like that. Now you go into a Spirit Halloween, you've got and listen, I like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but that doesn't scream Halloween to me at all.
No, same.
All. Spirit Halloween, you get not Spirit Halloween, you get Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Art the Clown. You got Leatherface as an animatronic up there. So like, I get what they're doing. Commercialism, animatronics, the blow up things. I do know what you mean, because I remember even going to Party City in like the early 90s was a different experience to Party City before they closed. They were like a mini Spirit Halloween at that point. Going in and seeing like an entire row of severed limbs, seeing, the masks up high, out of reach. You used to have to ask someone, hey, I want the one-eyed zombie. Can I take a look at it? And they'd go get it from the back and bring it to you. So stuff like that. There was a certain kind of charm to, the way it was many moons ago. But I don't know. Spirit Halloween to me is just, it sucks. It's not.
Well, I'm like a Halloween Nazi in the sense, like, I think that there are appropriate Halloween costumes and ones that aren't Halloween. Like, I don't think being something that's funny is Halloween. I don't think being something that is like an inside joke is Halloween. I don't think being like political things is Halloween. Like, I don't know if you've seen the Halloween King of the Hill episode. It's one of my favorite episodes. It is one of my favorite.
We've covered it on the show. Halloween, right? That episode.
And I think that when you were talking about like with your family trick-or-treating at night, like that episode fully captures that feeling with the little cut scenes where it has like October 30th and the music and the leaves and the wind blowing, like that feeling. That's what it feels like.
That episode has a ton of atmosphere. It's great.
It's so good. Yeah. It's so good. When he's in the store and he's like, Aladdin, Jenny McCarthy, I don't know what these things are. Like, where are the zombies and goblins and that's how I feel. It's like I would rather have someone just wearing a white t-shirt splattered with red paint saying they're like a murder victim than some like $300 costume that's like something from Minecraft or or some stupid, like, I can't even think off the top of my head, but some stupid pop culture shit. Like, I hate that so much. I really, really hate it. And that's what Spirit Halloween is. It's like 70% of the store is that stuff, and then there's like the Halloween section. Like,
yeah, that, and
whatever.
Think about
I'm a crotchety old man.
Think about it. That episode came out in what, like 98 or something, 97, around that time. It was like, right? 96,
I think it was season two. I think we were in junior high. I don't know how old you are, but
I'm almost 40.
I was in junior high.
Yeah.
I was in junior high when it came out. So yeah, it was like season 2. It came out. I love that episode. If I had to choose, gun to my head, my favorite Halloween special, it would probably be that. Maybe the Pete and Pete Halloween episode, but probably Halloween. So good. I love it.
Yeah, we covered it, I think, 2 years ago on the show, and we said the same thing. So any listeners that missed that, go back in the archives and check that episode out. All right, so we're going to end the show here on a more positive note about Halloween. On Halloween. Okay. So you're going to join me over on the Haunted Hangover Patreon page. We're going to do the Terrifying 20 Halloween and horror questions. Billy has no idea what I'm going to ask him. So if you're a Haunted Hangover Patreon, Haunted Hangover hooligan specifically, that tier, you'll be able to listen to that special bonus episode. But a little teaser here to close out the show. And this is going to be a hard one for my man Billy here. If you had one nice thing, one good thing to say about a contemporary Halloween, what would it be? Something that's happening now, like in Halloween today. What is something you can appreciate about the holiday?
That's it. I mean, I know there's probably something. It's a valid question. I had something on the tip of my tongue. I guess even though, because I've moved into a smaller apartment 5 years ago, and I don't know if you saw my old room. I don't know if you put pictures up on your show. I could even email you photos of my old room, but my room was covered with vintage Halloween stuff and like movie props or things that I made because the prop wasn't available. I guess what the best thing to happen now is to have movie accurate like props and things. Like, even though I don't collect them anymore, that's probably the coolest thing because, back in the day, it was only like Todd McFarlane movie maniacs, like figures and stuff. But now it's like I spent $500. I don't know if you can see it on that Trick or Treat Studios, the Good Guy doll, which is something I dreamt of having ever since I was a kid. And now I have one, movie accurate Good Guy doll. I don't know if you can see my burnt Chucky, which I made that. That's actually my favorite piece.
That's pretty sick.
That's probably the coolest thing to happen today is the access that anybody can have like a movie accurate prop from like their favorite movie or film or whatever.
There you go. See? Something good came of the world today.
Yeah,
there you go. All right, Billy. So thank you for joining me. Where can people find you?
Most of the time I'm posting on Instagram. I post every stupid little thing. I'm a big camera junkie. So I'm always taking pictures, whether it's my music, my art, stupid little things I find in the dumpster, my dumpster hauls, thrift snags and things like that. The Gathering of Ghosts is my Instagram handle. You can always find all my music and art on my website, theghostinyu.net. That's probably the best place to branch off because my YouTube, you can find my YouTube and all that stuff. But yeah, those are the main things.
But yes, check out Billy, super talented guy. Check out his music, his art, his books, everything. And be sure to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky, Facebook, all that nonsense at Haunted Hangover. Head over to hauntedhangover.com where you can find links to everything, including the Patreon page that I just mentioned, where Billy's going to join me and take a crack at the Terrifying 20. Rate and review us. It'd be greatly appreciated. And as always, remember, the best cure for a hangover is
the booze.
Catch you guys later.